Hannah's voice cracked through the phone before she could steady it. You did what? Her chest tightened as she stared at the empty parking space where her brand-new Honda Accord had been sitting just 12 hours earlier. The morning air in her Brookridge apartment complex was cool and damp, the concrete still dark with dew, faint tire marks curving away as if someone had left in a hurry. On the other end of the line, her mother laughed, that dismissive little chuckle Hannah had known all her life. Relax, Hannah. We gave your spare key to Carly. She needed a reliable car, and yours was just sitting there in the lot. Hannah's fingers trembled around her phone. Before I continue, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and tell me where you're watching from. Mom, that car is in my name. I've been making payments on it for 3 months. You can't just give someone my keys without asking me. She's your sister, her mother replied, as if that settled everything. Family helps family. Hannah shut her eyes, but that only made it worse. She saw Carly behind the wheel of their father's truck, running a red light because she was changing the radio station. Carly's ex-husband's sedan wrapped around a telephone pole after a party she'd sworn she was fine to drive home from. The leased car nose deep in a ditch because she'd been texting and missed a curve. The school bus she'd rear-ended at a stoplight while putting on mascara. Thank God the bus was empty. Mom, Carly has destroyed every car she's ever touched, Hannah said. 4 cars in 5 years. That's not bad luck. That's negligence. Her mother's voice sharpened. That's not fair. Those were accidents. Anyone can have an accident. You've always been jealous of your sister. You hate seeing her have anything nice. Hannah almost laughed. Jealous. She, who worked 2 jobs through college while Carly dropped out to model and drifted through marriages and maxed out credit cards. Where did Carly take my car? Hannah asked, forcing her voice to stay level. I don't know exactly, her mother said. Probably to work. She said something about a new position at a salon in Ridgeway. You should be happy for her. She's finally getting her life together. When did she take it? Last night around 11. Your father met her at your complex and gave her the spare key. We thought you'd be asleep. We didn't want to wake you. We were trying to be considerate. The word scraped across Hannah's nerves. They had come onto her property in the middle of the night, handed her car to Carly, and driven off without even knocking on her door. Let me get this straight, she said quietly. You and Dad came to my home, gave away my car without my permission, and didn't tell me until I called in a panic because I thought it was stolen. It wasn't stolen, her mother snapped. It's with family. That's completely different. Traffic hummed beyond the lot as Brookridge woke up, but everything around Hannah felt strangely silent. It was taken without my consent, she said. That's the definition of stolen. Her mother scoffed. You're being ridiculous and dramatic as usual. Your sister will bring it back when she's done. A week, maybe 2 at most. It's not a library book, Mom, Hannah said. It's a $28,000 vehicle I'm still paying off. I need that car to get to work. Money, money, money. That's all you ever think about, her mother said, disgust curling each word. Family comes before money. Family comes before everything. Something inside Hannah shifted at that. A wall she'd spent 29 years building around who her family really was developed its first deep crack. All right, she said softly. Just give me a minute. She hung up before her mother could answer. Hannah stared at her reflection in the dark phone screen. 29, operations manager at Riverstone Logistics on the east side of Brookridge, born and raised in this city. She thought of the nights she'd stayed late at the office, the years she'd spent saving for the down payment on the Accord, the thrill of driving it off the lot in Clearview knowing it was finally hers. And now, her parents had treated it like a spare umbrella. She scrolled past her parents' names, past Carly's, to a number she'd never expected to dial. Her thumb hovered only a heartbeat, then she tapped it. Brookridge Police Department, what's your emergency? A calm voice answered. Hannah swallowed. My car is gone, she said. And I know who took it. Within the hour, a patrol car pulled into the lot. The officer who stepped out was a woman around Hannah's age with kind eyes and a firm, no-nonsense posture. I'm Officer Brooks, she said, flipping open a small notebook. Walk me through what happened. They stood beside the empty space as Hannah told her everything, from the missing car to her mother's casual confession. Brooks listened without interrupting, her pen moving steadily. So your parents came here last night, used a spare key, and gave your car to your sister, she summarized. You didn't give anyone permission to take your vehicle. No, Hannah said. I went to bed with it parked right here.
And you're the sole owner?
Name on title and registration. Yes. Bought it 3 months ago in Clayview. I have all the paperwork upstairs.
Brooks nodded. Okay.
Once we file this, it becomes an official vehicle theft case.
Are you sure you want to move forward?
Hannah thought of her mother's laugh, the way family had always been used to erase her boundaries. She thought of 4 wrecked cars, court dates, and her parents rushing in with money and excuses while calling it support. She thought of paying her own tuition while they covered Carly's rent. She waited for guilt to rise and drown her resolve. But it didn't.
I'm sure, she said. All right, Brooks replied. Your sister will be flagged for vehicle theft. That's serious.
You okay with that?
Hannah nodded.
I'm done being the only one who takes consequences seriously.
Brooks entered the report in her in-car computer.
While she worked, Hannah's phone buzzed with calls from both parents.
She let them go to voicemail.
Then a text came from Carly. Heard you're freaking out about the car.
Chill. I'm just borrowing it for the week. I'll bring it back Sunday. Stop being dramatic.
Brooks snapped a quick photo of the screen. This helps, the officer said.
She's admitting she has the car and thinks this is a misunderstanding.
Good for evidence. Hannah nodded, feeling unexpectedly lighter.
Brooks finished the report.
Your vehicle is now flagged as stolen. Any officer who runs the plates will get a hit. As Brooks closed her laptop, Carly's name flashed on Hannah's screen. Your call, the officer murmured.
Hannah answered.
What the hell is wrong with you?
Carly exploded.
Mom says you're acting crazy.
It's just a car. I needed it for work.
It's not like you were using it at midnight. You took my car without asking me, Hannah said evenly.
You didn't call or text.
You just showed up with Mom and Dad and drove away.
I did ask, Carly snapped. I asked them. They said you'd be fine with it because you're always so understanding. They don't own my car, Hannah replied.
They can't give permission for something that isn't theirs.
Carly snorted. God, you're so uptight. This is why nobody likes you.
You're obsessed with rules and fairness and making everything perfect. I'm actually trying to get my life together, and you can't even let me borrow a stupid car for 1 week.
Brooks watched, face neutral, clearly hearing every word. Where are you? Hannah asked. None of your business.
I'll bring the car back when I'm ready, not before.
Hannah's voice stayed calm.
The car is registered as stolen with the Brookridge Police Department. If you're driving it and get pulled over, you'll be arrested.
Silence pressed through the line.
Then Carly laughed, a sound that echoed their mother's. You're bluffing. You'd never call the cops on your own sister.
I already did, Hannah said.
The officer is standing next to me.
The pause that followed stretched until it snapped. You're lying, Carly said. I'm not. Carly's tone turned bitter. You're such a Hannah.
Always jealous, always ruining things because I finally have a chance at something good. You can't stand seeing me succeed. The words struck old wounds, but they didn't burrow in like before. I don't care who Mom and Dad love more, Hannah said quietly. I stopped caring about that a long time ago. I care that you stole my car.
I didn't steal it. They gave me the key.
They gave away something they had no right to give, Hannah said. Bring the car back to my apartment and we can sort this without more police involvement.
No.
I need it for work. Take the bus. Hannah closed her eyes, inhaled slowly. All right, she said. Then I'll see you when the police find you.
She hung up. Brooks exhaled softly.
She's not bringing it back, is she?
No, Hannah said.
She thinks I'll fold like always.
Brooks nodded.
We'll put out a bulletin with the make, model, and plates. Brookridge is big, but there are only so many places to hide. 4 hours later, Hannah sat at her desk at Riverstone Logistics, pretending to focus on inventory reports while her mind replayed the morning. Her coworker, Naomi, had taken one look at her and silently set a cup of coffee on her desk. You look like somebody ran over your dog, Naomi had said gently. What happened?
Family drama, Hannah answered. I don't want to talk about it yet.
Naomi squeezed her shoulder and backed off, and for a moment Hannah marveled at the unfamiliar feeling of someone respecting her limits. When her phone finally rang and she saw Officer Brooks's number, she stood so fast she jostled her coffee.
This is Hannah, she said, breathless. We found your vehicle, Brooks said.
Hannah's heart slammed against her ribs.
Where is it? Is Carly with it? There was a pause. The car is at an impound lot on the west side. It was abandoned in a no-parking zone about 3 hours ago.
It looks like your sister ditched it when she realized we were actively looking for it.
Hannah gripped the edge of her desk.
What condition is it in?
Another pause. You should come see it, Brooks said. I'll meet you there in an hour.
Hannah told her supervisor she had a family emergency, and Naomi lent her car without question. The impound lot was a bleak stretch of cracked asphalt and chain-link fence. Hannah recognized her Accord instantly, but it already looked like a battered cousin of the car she'd driven off the lot in Clearview. The front bumper was dented and scraped, as if it had kissed another vehicle and just kept going. The driver's side mirror hung at a crooked angle, cracked almost in half. Long white scratches slashed across the passenger door in steady lines, like someone had dragged a key with petty satisfaction. The back window carried a jagged crack running from corner to corner, a spider web of glass catching gray light. Inside, fast food wrappers littered the floor, sticky cups and napkins pressed into the mats. A dark, ugly stain spread across the back seat. Hannah walked slowly around the car, the world narrowing to each scar. What happened? She heard herself say. Hard to say without more investigation, Brooks replied. Bumper looks like a minor collision. The scratches are deliberate. The window was hit from the inside. Whatever this stain is, you'll want it professionally cleaned. Hannah's phone rang. Her mother's name flashed on the screen. She answered, jaw clenched. Hannah, thank God, her mother began. Carly just called me in tears. She says the police are after her because you filed some kind of report. Tell me this is a misunderstanding. Hannah stared at the ruined car. It's not, she said quietly. She stole my car. Stole is a strong word, her mother replied, voice sharpening. She borrowed it. There's a difference.
Hannah almost laughed.
She took it without permission, drove it less than 24 hours, and I'm standing in an impound lot looking at dents, cracks, and trash everywhere. That's not borrowing. Even if there was some minor damage, it was an accident, her mother said, shifting into wounded sweetness. You know Carly has always had bad luck with cars. That doesn't mean she deserves to be treated like a criminal. Bad luck.
Hannah repeated. She's destroyed 4 vehicles in 5 years. That's not luck.
That's a pattern you and Dad have enabled by paying her legal fees, buying her new cars, and making excuses. We did what good parents do, her mother shot back. We supported our daughter when she struggled. What about when I struggled? The question slipped out sharper than Hannah expected. When I worked 2 jobs to pay for college while you covered Carly's rent after she dropped out. When I saved every penny for this car while you bought her 3 different ones she wrecked. When did you support me like that? You never needed help, her mother said quickly. You've always been capable. Carly needed more support. Hannah stared at the carved-up door. Different needs or different standards, she asked. Because from here, it looks like you held me to a higher standard and let Carly get away with everything. Her mother called her dramatic. Hannah felt something go very still inside. Carly is going to face consequences, she said. Real ones. Because clearly our family won't hold her accountable. She hung up and blocked the number. Brooks cleared her throat softly. That sounded rough, she said. You have no idea, Hannah replied, though the officer probably did. Brooks explained the next steps, documenting damage, giving a formal statement at the station, letting the prosecutor decide charges. Family cases get complicated, she said. Unauthorized use of a motor vehicle is a misdemeanor here. With this damage, there may be additional property charges. Are you sure you want to proceed? Hannah looked at the car that had represented years of sacrifice. I've never been more sure, she said. 2 days later, an insurance adjuster named Trevor circled the Accord with a clipboard, his expression a mix of detachment and sympathy. So this was a theft by a family member, he asked. My sister, Hannah said. She took the spare key from my parents and drove off without my knowledge. And you filed a police report? Trevor confirmed. Yes. He crouched by the bumper. This hit was at a decent speed, he said. Paint transfer suggests another vehicle, darker color. And these scratches, he traced the keyed lines. Same depth, same angle. Someone did this intentionally. Hannah's stomach twisted. At the back window, Trevor tapped the center of the crack. This came from inside. Something hit the glass from here. Bag, elbow, who knows? Window needs replacing. For 20 minutes he took photos and notes. Here's the good news, he said at last. Your comprehensive coverage should handle most of this. Since you have a theft report, we'll process it as a stolen vehicle recovery claim. You might even qualify for a total loss. After he left, Hannah sat in the damaged car and finally checked the voicemail she'd been avoiding. Carly snarling that she cared more about things than people, her father asking her to drop the charges and apologize, Carly again laughing that no one wanted her stupid car anyway. When the messages ended, Hannah sat in silence. Surrounded by the physical proof of Carly's carelessness and her parents' betrayal, she realized she had spent her entire life trying to earn the love of people who treated her reliability like an infinite resource. She had been the responsible one, the quiet fixer, the shock absorber.
And what had it gotten her?
A stolen car and a family furious that she refused to swallow it. Something inside her hardened, not bitterness, but protection, like a scar forming over an old wound. The next morning, she called Officer Brooks. "I want to proceed with pressing charges," she said. "Whatever the maximum is, I want to pursue it fully." "Once the prosecutor's office takes over, it's out of your hands," Brooks warned.
"I understand," Hannah said.
Carly left me a voicemail laughing about what she did.
She doesn't believe there will be consequences. I want to prove her wrong.
The following day, Hannah walked into the Brookridge station under harsh fluorescent lights. Brooks led her to a small interview room where a man with silver at his temples waited with a notebook.
"I'm Detective Hayes," he said.
"Let's start from the beginning." Hannah told him everything, finding the empty space, the call with her mother, Carly's text, the wrecked car at the impound lot, the voicemails. Hayes took careful notes, occasionally asking for dates or exact wording. When she finished, he flipped back through his pages. "Your sister has quite a history with vehicles," he said.
4 totaled cars in 5 years.
3 due to her own reckless driving.
1 involved alcohol.
Her license has been suspended twice. Honestly, I'm surprised she's still legally driving."
Hannah rubbed the bridge of her nose. "My parents always stepped in," she said.
"Lawyers, fines, new cars.
They called it support.
They never held her accountable." "But they didn't do the same for you," Hayes observed. Hannah let out a short, humorless laugh.
"No.
I bought my first car at 19 with money from 2 jobs while going to school full-time.
Paid my own college, my own apartment.
They said I didn't need help because I was so capable."
Hayes nodded slowly.
"Sounds like a complicated family dynamic."
"It was," Hannah said. "I'm done with it now."
When her statement was complete, Hayes outlined the plan. "We're moving forward with unauthorized use of a motor vehicle," he said. "First-degree misdemeanor. With the damage, there may be additional vandalism and property charges."
He glanced at another page. "We also ran a standard background check.
Your sister has outstanding warrants in Maplewood and Hillcrest counties for failing to appear on traffic citations. Minor alone, but they mean she's already in the system. When we locate her on your charges, she'll have to answer for those too." "Good," Hannah said softly, surprising herself with how much she meant it. 5 days later, Hannah was sipping coffee at her kitchen table when her phone rang.
It was Trevor from the insurance company. "Good news," he said.
"The damage exceeds 70% of the car's current value. You qualify for a total loss payout."
Hannah's pulse quickened. "What does that look like?"
"We'll pay the full market value minus your deductible," Trevor explained. "Because it's only 3 months old, that's close to what you paid. You'll get around $26,000 once you sign over the title." After the call, Hannah sat in stunned silence. The world outside her family, it seemed, operated on something like fairness. 2 weeks later, the check arrived, and she used it to buy a silver Toyota Camry.
Carly had never sat in it. Her parents didn't have a key.
Around the same time, police in Maplewood County stopped Carly during a routine traffic check. Her outstanding warrants and the Brookridge charges lit up their screen. She spent 4 nights in county jail before a friend named Jenna posted bond. Photos from Carly's booking trickled onto social media. Hannah saw them when a cousin reposted them. Carly's hair hung limp and unwashed, her face bare and exhausted, every year of 32 showing plainly. She looked small in the orange jumpsuit, stripped of the gloss and charm she'd always lived behind. A few days later, her mother called from her father's phone, the only way through now that her number was blocked. "Hannah, please," her mother sobbed.
"Your sister is falling apart. She has court dates in 3 counties. She could lose her license for good."
"Is this really what you wanted?"
Hannah kept her voice calm.
What I wanted was for Carly to finally face the consequences of her actions. That's what's happening. Her mother accused her of being cold, of forgetting what family meant.
Family doesn't steal from each other, Hannah said.
Family doesn't destroy property and then laugh about it in voicemails.
You want to talk about family?
Look at the one you and Dad created. When the call ended, she blocked her father's number, too. 3 months after the theft, on a cold November morning, Hannah walked up the stone steps of the Maplewood County Courthouse.
She hadn't spoken to her parents or Carly since she blocked them.
They'd sent letters and messages through relatives. She'd let them pile up unanswered.
Inside the courtroom, she chose a seat in the back.
Lawyers shuffled papers, defendants waited. Her parents arrived, her mother dressed in black like she was attending a funeral, her father stiff in a suit. Their eyes found Hannah immediately, flickering from hope to anger when she didn't signal any welcome.
They sat on the other side of the gallery.
Carly shuffled in later, escorted by a bailiff, hair yanked into a sloppy ponytail, face pale, eyes red.
She didn't look at Hannah or their parents.
The judge, a woman with steel-gray hair and a gaze that suggested she'd seen every excuse already, called the case and read the charges. Unauthorized use of a motor vehicle, failure to appear on multiple citations, driving on a suspended license, property destruction.
How does the defendant plead? The judge asked.
Carly's public defender whispered urgently, shuffling papers. Carly stared at the table, then glanced briefly toward the gallery, eyes sliding over her family like a cold draft.
Guilty, Your Honor, she said.
The judge reviewed Carly's record in detail, every wrecked car, every ignored warning. The defender argued for leniency, divorce, financial trouble, a promise to do better. The judge listened, then looked Carly in the eye. I see a sustained pattern of disregard, for the law, for other people's property, and for consequences, she said. You've been given multiple chances and squandered them. The court has to send a message. Hannah heard her mother's strangled sob across the room. The judge continued, sentencing Carly to 90 days in county jail, with 60 suspended, 30 to serve immediately, 2 years of supervised probation, license revoked indefinitely with a possibility of petition after 5 years, and $3,000 in restitution to Hannah, plus a no-contact order.
Carly nodded weakly. She didn't look back as the bailiff led her away.
In the hallway, Hannah's parents found her. Her father's voice was smaller than she'd ever heard it. How did we get here?
He asked.
By treating me like I didn't matter and treating Carly like she could do no wrong, she said quietly. By deciding my boundaries were less important than keeping the peace.
He admitted they'd made mistakes. Hannah nodded. Maybe someday we'll talk. But not today.
She stepped past them and into the parking garage, where her silver Camry waited, hers alone.
In the months that followed, her life shifted.
Without constant crises and guilt-laced calls, she had time that belonged only to her. She joined a gym, reconnected with friends, earned a promotion at Riverstone Logistics, and moved into a brighter apartment on the north side of Brookridge. She started dating Eric, a steady, kind man who listened. One night she told him everything. It sounds like you finally chose yourself, he said. The words settled warm in her chest. On a quiet Sunday morning, she stood at her window, keys in her hand, realizing it had never really been about the car. It was about respect, boundaries, and deciding that the real revenge wasn't watching her sister in an orange jumpsuit. It was building a life where she treated herself like she mattered, whether her family ever did or not. Then she locked her door and walked toward the future she had finally claimed. Thank you for watching. If this story moved you, please like this video, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments.
Your support means everything.